Hello everybody, it is Cosmo here, and today I wanted to talk about something that is very unorthodox, and that I don't think I've ever actually heard anybody talk about, and that is keycap placement for gaming specifically. So, something that I have done in the past, but not recently, is putting arrow keys in place of WASD keys. Now this is something that I did particularly when I was in high school and middle school, and I was not doing much typing, but it's a completely different profile for your keycaps, right? Because for those of you who don't know, if you look at a keyboard, each key, okay, this doesn't work that way because I have my artisans, but each keycap is actually sculpted in a different profile based on which row it's meant to be on in a keyboard. And this is so that you get proper ergonomics when you're typing, and so that each key feels sort of flat, but it's at a different incline, right? So because of that, if you misplace keys, so if you look like right here, I have my WASD keys here and my arrow keys here. These arrow keys are a different profile than the F keys, the Q and the E keys, all the keys around, and therefore it is very easy to find your way back to them. So putting arrow keys in place of WASD keys is something that I used to do, because it is very, very prominent, and it makes it very, very easy to find your way back to your WASD keys if you move off for activating an ability or anything like that. However, the obvious downside to that is that when you are like putting your hands on the home row to type, it feels super weird. So if you are like a legitimate esports professional, or you just spend the majority of your days playing video games, oh, there's a garbage truck going past my house right now, so that's a terrible noise. Sorry if that's loud in the microphone. If you are spending the majority of your time on your computer playing video games, this is a keycap configuration that I think you might want to try. The majority of keyboards come with arrow keys. I think 60% are definitely gaining more popularity lately. I mean, I have one. But the majority of keyboards still come with arrow keys, and if they don't, literally every single keycap set comes with arrow keys. So this is something I recommend trying. It's not actually something that I recommend. Something that I do recommend is reversing your caps lock key right here. So this is something that originally I tried out on my Tokyo 60. If you notice, the caps lock key is reversed. By the way, these are artisans. These do not come with the keycap set. This is something that I tried out on my Tokyo 60 because I am forced to use what would normally be the caps lock key as a control, since it is an HHKB layout. And I had a hypothesis that if I had flipped around the control key, it would be very easy to press like this to crouch. And sure enough, I was correct. But this is a keycap chain, and so then I also have done this. So this is the Master Up Alt. This is not a keyboard that I actually use, but it's a keyboard that I have, and I just wanted to use it because I feel like it's a keyboard most people have, and it's just a keyboard I can show you these things on. So if I unplug it here, pulling off keycaps is super easy. The caps lock key is actually even easier. Like, you don't actually need to use a keycap puller because you can actually just get your thumb under there. However, I recommend you own a keycap puller if you plan on doing any of these. Normally it sits like this, but if you flip it around, it now has, if you see on the side profile, the top of the shift key goes right into the bottom of that caps lock key, right? And that means that you can very easily bind an ability to that caps lock and just move your finger up a millimeter or two and hit that key without actuating the shift. So if I go back to my Tokyo 60 here and I show you that, these are cherry profile keycaps, but it's still the same, where the shift and the caps lock, or control on this keyboard, end and start at the same point. And this just means that I can very easily activate that caps lock key without pressing the shift, and it is much more ergonomic since it is sort of contoured to my pinky. Now if we go back to the Master Up Alt here, and we flip around the caps lock key to what would be the default configuration, if my finger is on shift and I'm trying to go up to the control, not only am I running my finger into a ledge, but I have to go up and over to get to that control key. And if you see, there is certainly a jump from that shift key to that control key. Whereas, if I turn it around, I get to simply run my finger from the shift up to the control and activate it. So this is something that I truly recommend everybody tries. It might not be something that you stick with. I mean, in all honesty, it is definitely a change. I think if you use a caps lock key, it is 100% worth doing, just because who the fuck uses caps lock? If you're on an HHKB layout or some other compact layout where the key that would normally be caps lock is instead control or something, I'd say just try it out based on how much you use control. I am primarily typing on this keyboard and then gaming. I'm not doing any amount of programming. I'm doing plenty of browsing, but not like browsing for productivity and work purposes. I'm browsing because it's, I don't know, watching fucking YouTube videos or whatever. So the control key I use definitely the most when I'm in game. That being said, it is still pretty ergonomic to use otherwise. Getting to these keys is a little bit weirder because you see instead of just like pressing higher up, I'm sort of pivoting my hand. But it's still plenty ergonomic as a control key, especially because when you're using a control key, you're very rarely like reaching over. You're more taking your hand off and then performing the command. And it's more of a one-time thing, you know, and you're holding it. Like this is kind of weird to just tap if you're not like in a gaming position. But you're rarely just like randomly typing control when you're typing. So I just want to make this very quick video because I don't think I have ever once seen a person talk about keycap positioning specifically for gaming. And I think that it is 100% something worth trying because if you own a mechanical keyboard, it's free to do. This is not something that you need to invest any amount of time into. And it's just something that I think can be much more ergonomic for gaming purposes. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. As always, make sure to check out the other videos, and there are definitely more things coming on the way. Oh wait, I have one more thing. Just backward spacebar. You can see on this keyboard, the spacebar's been flipped around. This is just incredible. It just feels good. It feels good to type. It feels good to game on. But people have talked about that. So yeah, try flipping around your caps lock key and try switching your velocity with your arrows if you game a lot. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.